I just took a little trade, and I got in a bit late, and I just got out, made like $50.
Oh, right on.
So $40 actually.
That's a big deal.
So it's better than losing, you know.
That's one thing I always look at when we're trading, to always be, people think I'm a little bit nuts when they see it in person, but I really think that you should always, you know, celebrate every win. So if I make $5, I'm like, yes,
Well,
big
a
money.
win is a win.
A win is
So
a win.
the
You did the
wins
right
add
thing.
up as long as you're
Yeah.
not over trading. If you're
Mm-hmm.
winning trades, hey, take
Yeah.
10 trades a day and scalp it. And if you do it $50 10 times, you made $500. That's a pretty good
Mm-hmm.
day's wages.
Yeah. And in a way, you didn't risk more, because we're always talking about risk management. And if you're trading $50 5 times during the morning
Yeah,
session, then you never risked too much, and you had, if you won a couple of times, you're doing really well. Yeah, it's important for people to remember that you don't have to be trading with $50,000 and 10x leverage. There are people that do, but you can do just fine without that insanity.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, Friday, yeah, speaking of risk management, today I'm starting with 1 unit because I was using 2 units on Friday, or actually on Wednesday, and I missed the New York Open.
Hmm.
It just started, moving up, and I thought, well, this is just going to be like temporary. And then since I missed the entry, it was hard to get behind the trade properly for the rest of the day. And I was using 2 units, so my losses were doubled. So I ended up losing $1,000
Woo.
on Wednesday. So we're getting a little bit
Oh,
of volatility here. I'm going to share my screen. I got a
yeah.
take profit set at $155 1 unit. Hopefully, I'm not going to get. Actually, I had to take that one too, so I made another $40. I took it off because the the liquidity's thin, so there aren't enough buyers yet. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so where is my trading view? There it is. Share my trading view. So we do have indicators are lined up pretty well on the 2 minute. The 3 minute is my kind of my confirmation zone. That also looks quite good. I should have just stayed in my trade. The only thing is, instead of trying to scalp right now, I think I'll just wait for New York Open, which is in a little over 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And go from there.
We're getting that little bit of pre-market. Well, of course, usually pre-market, you're going to get some. It goes one way or the other. They either create that spread for themselves with a dump or a pump. So we're seeing that little bit of upwards motion right now. I mean, now it's just a big question of, when we see market open, are we going to see that initial burst, towards the upside, or is it going to just, plummet?
Yeah, they might just start buying. On Wednesday, we did have new all-time highs, and we went to like 20, and then we even went higher yet, I believe. Now, let me see here. What did we actually do? Look at 30-minute candles. So, yeah, we had Wednesday, we had all-time highs reasonably early in the morning. We hit about 20,436, and then the price kind of sagged a little bit, but the price was held up pretty well on the 4th of July. There was a price drop in there, but by the Thursday open at 3 p.m. Pacific time, the price started going up, and then they made new all-time highs late last night. Now, the 5:30 a.m. Pacific or 7:30 a.m. Central, there was an announcement which caused a big price wick. See that?
Yeah.
There's a huge variance. So that means shorts would have gotten liquidated, longs would have gotten liquidated if they got in at the wrong place. I was tempted, but I thought, nah, this is just too much whackery, and it was. This was a 490 tick
Wow.
variance from top to bottom, which at one unit is pretty close to $2,500. So that would, most 100K accounts have a $2,000 daily loss limit, and that would have just put you out for the day. And of course, I'm not trading a combine today. I'm trading an XFA. So yeah, I just decided I don't want to take the risk.
Yeah.
And I was watching Rips this morning, and he took the trade, and he kept trying to go long, and he kept, he lost a couple trades there.
So even Rips loses once in a while.
Yeah, he counted up all the days, I think, since he started streaming on YouTube. I think he said he lost 35, had 35 losing days and 200 and some winning days. So that's what, 84% average win days, which
That's
is
pretty good.
pretty darn good, especially with the short-term trades he's taking, the amount of units that he puts on. He's doing like sometimes 30-second or 1-minute trades, and he puts on several units or 5 or 10, and he can make, $20,000 on one trade or 10,000. But he can also lose 10,000 on a trade.
Yeah. I wonder about does TopStep, like, that's where he's streaming, right? Like, do people have to have a TopStep account to see Rips, or can they watch without a TopStep account? Or
you can just watch him on YouTube. There is about a 6-second delay. So when he executes a trade, you won't know it for 6 seconds until after he does it.
Gotcha. I'll link to that, because I need to start watching him when I'm not a little more, because I haven't watched him yet, and I wanted to. It's good just to just watch how the master does it. And over at in the description, wherever you're watching this, whether it's the webinar or the YouTube streaming, in the description there is a link to TopStep, to the chart template that we're working with here. Give it a try, see if you can load it. I think it works. And then also the indicators that we're using, the trend lines with breaks, Trendilo, stochastic momentum, that's a common one, squeeze momentum indicator by LazyBear, because that's the good one, the best free one out there. And then the easy entry exit trend colors with alerts, and then smooth HA. And so that, makes it a little easier for people. So also at Bitcoin Daily View, if you just go there, bonk, it's all right there up top if you don't feel like looking at the description, So we're trying to help. We're trying to get better, help people out, make it easy to do what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all a learning process. Everybody's learning. Rips is one of the masters. I consider the fact that there are many masters. Now we got some volatility just 2 minutes before open. So Rips has his style. So he's a master of his style, his trading method. He uses Bookmap, which kind of shows these bubbles. And if there's enough liquidity, based on the size of the bubbles, you can tell exactly where the price is going to go, because you have big orders sitting at certain locations. So we're getting a little bit of a breakout here. This is what I get, once again, for not staying in the trade. That's my biggest nemesis, is not staying in trades long enough and thinking, well, I'd rather just take a little bit off the top than. So now we have a area of resistance there. It's actually more like here. Fix this here. Yeah, it's right there. So the price is going to be drawn to this area like a magnet. And this would be a very good area to take profit if you're in a trade, just because it's before market open. We have like 1 minute left. I have a feeling that the market's just going to go up, but
yeah,
it's going to wait and see. Now the kind of irregular line, blue line below this trend line is VWAP. See, there we go. New York Open.
Boom. New York opens in Lambo mode.
Yep, it does. I'm just going to watch this because I'm not interested in getting whacked if somebody decides to short the market with like 250 units.
Yeah.
That would kind of make this buying volume is big.
Mm. And I'll also link to, I'll update the links and put Bookmap in there, and also the futures favorites list. I can share that too. That way you can just import that list and see what's going on. Because Robert's got a great list of the futures that he's working with. And so we're seeing a trade being made right now.
Order filled.
So, look at that. So you can see there's TopStep. And
man, it did it to me again. I thought, okay, it's going to go down now a bit, and it just pumped again. And
now we're seeing that sell pressure come in.
Yeah, there's the sell pressure. And here's what's happening. I'll show you exactly what's going on. Okay, when I switch to 30-second candles, you can see that we just got a little bit overbought.
Are you still sharing?
Yeah, I thought I was sharing the right one.
It went away for a sec.
Okay.
So now you're not sharing, I guess. So
I'm
share
not sure.
again. Yeah.
I'll fix it. All right. So I've tried to change tabs on the fly. That didn't work too well. Share screen. Here's my NQ. There we go. Okay, so it's just going up basically.
Oh yeah. Are we gonna break that all-time high? Look at that 4-minute candle. You see that?
Yeah, that is the all-time
pressure
high.
come in.
Just below 20,500.
Ooh, is it gonna break that? And we have that nice little wedge pattern there. That that's a Trendilo, I think, right? It makes the
Trendilo.
Trendilo.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes those lines. If you fire up that indicator, you'll see the lines, and they're, it is an incredibly helpful indicator. Oh my gosh. And so are we going to break that? If we break that Trendilo line, it wouldn't surprise me if we keep running. This is another one of those mornings where it's hard because you don't have a clear, it's not the an easy trade,
No, it's not. In fact, you don't want to chase these big tall candles because what goes up must come down just like gravity.
Yeah.
So, don't buy the top and don't sell, don't go short at the bottoms. So
because it's hard. It's because you've got the body of those two last candles on the 4-minute are just about touching the bodies of a recent high. Then of course you've got your wick there, and now we actually wicked right to that pattern that Trendilo drew for us. So things are going perfectly. It's just really a hard. Like I would at this moment, I'm just sitting on the sidelines. I don't really want to get in or out. It looks like we're going to retrace, but how far exactly? The volume is decreasing. On the 15-second candles, you can see the Trendilo opening, starting to trend down. The stochastic RSI is, the squeeze indicator is, and then that cool one. I think that's easy entry exit with colors. I think the very bottom one.
Yeah, they've all rolled over. See, the thing is, Craig, on the 15-second candles, when you have decent volatility on the NASDAQ, 15 candles are going to rule the whole show. They're going to show you exactly what's going on. You can zoom in and just really, really use those. Now, it's trying to push higher right now. I'd be kind of surprised if it broke that last high without going lower first because it's just not time yet. But I can tell that there is a lot of bullish sentiment this morning. So, what I'm looking for is these indicators to go low enough on the 15-second to where I can get another entry another long entry that is, and then just stay in the trade for a while. Now, one thing I was going to talk about is what do they call a cheap trade? Well, there's a terminology that they use called getting a cheap trade. Now, if you want to go long and get a cheap trade, what that means is you're trying to catch a bottom so that you have very little area between where you got in and your stop loss down below. So that's what you call a cheap trade. That means you have a low risk. So if you lose like some money, you might lose $200 or $300, but you stand to gain maybe like, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 on the upward end if you stay in the trade. So that's my biggest issue, staying in the trades long enough to really, to really make the big dough.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, your initial gut feeling is usually correct.
Yeah, that's intuition. So that's kind of in your subconscious. If you
Yeah.
change your mind after getting into a trade, it's usually based on emotion, which is not really your friend when it comes to trading. So
Yeah.
well, this is kind of shaping up a little bit here. 15-second, pretty short time frame for sure. You probably wouldn't trade 15-second candles in crypto, but in the NASDAQ, it's suitable. Now, all I'm seeing right now is I'm just seeing consolidation. They want to push the price up, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
2 minute again. So 2 minute has crossed, the 5 and the 10 have crossed bullish. Like 14 minutes before New York opened, and they're just pushing the price up. So now we have, is it going to pop? So if it breaks that last high, I think it's off to the races.
Yeah, I thought I'd mention, like, especially Bitcoin's really been taking a dump ever since July 1st, really, with some fixes, but it might be making a bounce today. I'm watching the order books, and there's, million plus orders, 2 million plus orders in the order books. So we're seeing a lot of volume come in today. A lot of longs got wrecked earlier this morning, well, more like last night, but it looks like the money is coming into Bitcoin right now. So we'll see if that ends up turning around. And like the trading volumes at 13 billion, it's up 239% last 24 hours. So, spot trading is kind of weak. The top 100 alts are all in the red. Who knows what's going to happen, but we might see I don't know. It's really hard to tell, but, we're at 55,700, 55,600 today for the Bitcoin fans out there. I don't know. This might be that bottom you're looking for, but we still have a lot of big picture downwards velocity that we have to break. So maybe a confirmed uptrend for Bitcoin today. We'll see, for the long swing traders on Bitcoin. Thought I'd just throw that in there.
Yeah, well, the backstory behind what's going on with Bitcoin is that there's a panic right now because the Mt. Gox $9 billion in Bitcoin is about to be released into the exchanges. Now, what's going to probably happen when that $9 billion US dollars gets into the exchanges is at least, I would guess, half to 3/4 of it is going to be sold on the exchanges. That's going to create the price to go down further. I was looking at 47,000 as a target yesterday as far as the next low. But now I'm thinking it's going to go lower than that because as far as I know, the funds have not been released yet.
And this kind of gets, threatened quite often, like this might happen or whatever. But if this is when it happens, like because I think there's been some false calls before, like this is going to happen, the price dumps and they don't actually release it, I think. But if they do, yeah, this is a great time just to lay in wait because it might be that it might be a really great opportunity. I definitely would set some trading view alerts. So if that dump starts happening, you can catch that 47K wick. if that's the way you're trading, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Bitcoin is it went all the way down to what, 53,
53.
53.3 or
Mm.
53,000. So it's already been there. That's going to drag all the altcoins down. But I can tell you, when this thing rallies, the altcoins that got pushed down are going to pop like a spring.
Yeah.
Many of them.
Yeah, the alt market. I was looking at the top 100 this morning. They're all in the red, and not just a little bit. It's carnage out there. If anybody was, long on that. So, if you're lucky enough to be on the sidelines, this is a great time to be watching that crypto alt market and watching Bitcoin, because this is gonna bounce, and when it does, this is a wonderful moment. And since you're looking at the Binance USDT markets, we're starting to see some green. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we got Zen VTHO, which is the vet. What do you call it? The coin is basically the governance token for vet, VTHO. You got EDU. They're all just kind of, going up.
They're making some gains this morning. So, I mean, that's 19% up, 16, 9%, 7, 5. I mean, the alts are looking pretty good. There's so we're doing quite well. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't know it would happen this soon. It might still be a little bit premature for Bitcoin to just having hit bottom at 53, but we'll see. I mean,
yeah, and patience is a big one, because I mean, if you're in a trade and you're in profit and you can move your stop loss up to sell in profit, and you want to keep riding these alts or Bitcoin, then that's good to go. But really, until we know like that move for Bitcoin, if Mt. Gox is actually, if those funds are really going to hit the exchanges, and I guess that's the trick, is if you can be by your trading view, if you can, or if you got your limit orders in or whatever, hopefully you have a plan that you can implement, that you're working on with that. Because one thing I was thinking about is, what if Mt. Gox, so they dump that money in there, and then just straight up the big money just buys it, like
yeah, BlackRock in there.
You know what I mean?
And friends, who means the U.S. government. So if they end up just buying as much of that sold Bitcoin as they can, which I guarantee you they will, then the price is just going to pump.
Yeah, I mean, so it could be like it dumps to the 40 or 30 Ks, or it like hits 100,000 within like an hour. You mean, so?
Well, that would be wild.
That'd be wild.
It's probably not going to do that, but I've seen strange things with Bitcoin before.
Yeah,
things that would just blow your mind.
Yeah, and that's, I know. So within like an hour, it hits 30K and then 100K.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the big money can do stuff like that, but
That's right.
Yeah, the big money can do that for sure.
So with the NASDAQ, 30-minute is bullish. Looks very bullish on the 30-minute.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have the price is pushing toward that last high. It didn't quite make it yet, but it came really close. Might have almost matched it. So this looks super bullish. The Trendilo has been trying to turn on green on the 30-minute, and it looks like it's at the point where right now it's going to. The 15-minute looks also bullish. And 5-minute. 5-minute looks like it's coming down a bit. So I think it's going to give a better entry. And I really do think that we're going to have some more upside today in the NASDAQ. Of course, the biggest influencers on the NASDAQ are NVIDIA, which is kind of rolling over right now on the 5-minute. Apple, which is slamming to the top side as pretty much usual. And Microsoft, which is also kind of slamming upward. So yeah, I think the NASDAQ just got a little bit too overbought, and it has to come down a bit and kind of reset itself. And I think we're going to be having a really nice day for longs, you know.
Yeah. In the 5 minutes looking pretty good. And it has broken out of that Trendilo line, which is now, of course, it's back under it. But yeah, we'll have to watch this guy today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an exciting thing to trade. I pretty much these days I exclusively trade the NASDAQ just because I've kind of, if you concentrate on one asset that you're trading, you start to learn the nuances and you know, what it's going to do, and you can almost second guess it. Now, the word almost is key here because if you ever get too cocky and you say, "Oh, I know exactly what the NASDAQ is going to do," it's going to hear you and you're going to suffer. So
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
they're going to hear you through
through your
through
microphone.
Google, and it's going to
Yeah.
go straight to the CIA, and they're going to put out an order that says, "Okay, he needs to get his stop loss hit because he's getting too cocky."
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's
there
funny.
there are some half truths in there, by the way. But
Yeah, I mean that'd be funny if like your cell phone is mic's always on and your computer mic is always on. There's always somewhere they can hear you, maybe through your TV, and if you go yeah, it's time to this or that. Yeah, it'd be wild if that was actually built into the larger trading algorithms and such. That'd be
well, speaking of
amazing.
algorithms, I've watched the Nasdaq when when there was a key speaker from the Fed, and you can listen to them say key words, certain words together in a sequence, and you can literally watch the Nasdaq algorithms react to those keywords through the AI that is set up
Mm-hmm.
in the Nasdaq. So that there's AI, they used to call them bots, that reacts to certain thing. It kind of drives the market, makes it drive itself, and the bots are placing orders based on where they want the market to kind of head to.
Yeah. And
Especially in time areas where there's just little volatility, nobody's really trading it much, no big orders. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, now we're hitting a nice moment where we are getting that nice strong retrace on the 5 minute candle. This is something.
yep.
This looks like it's setting up for a stable trade at this point when we're, you know, uh, and we do look at the 5 minute, the 10 minute, SMAs and the 75, and when those are crossing in our favor, that's a good thing. And the HA smooth, it wicked under it, and it's looking like maybe it's going to move off of that. Still a hard one to call, but
The smoothed HA, if anybody really wants to know what is it, why is it there, it's basically the 30 SMA. So it's really close to the 30 because I've opened different MAs just to see what one is closest, and it's really close to the 30. So
mm,
um, one of the indicators, I think I mentioned this in the last show, but one of the indicators that's really a key is the 75 moving average. So that's this kind of lime green line that moves up here. I actually have it set up to where it changes colors. If it starts to go sideways, it changes from green to yellow. And if it actually starts to go down, it'll change to red.
oh wow, okay,
So, but the 75 is really a key moving average to really, you can literally watch the price reject or bounce off of the 75 in looking back. Um, Sometimes it works great on the 1 minute. Sometimes it works great on the 5 minute or 3 minute. It just kind of depends on where it is. And of
mm,
course, across the whole market, many traders are looking at all the most common time frames: 30-second, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. And that's why it becomes relevant because there's so many people, so many eyes on it.
yeah. I'll actually save that in the template that's out there. I'll make the 75 lime green. Right now it's purple on the template, but I'll make it lime green so everything just kind of matches.
Yeah, this is coming from the MA plus NQ MA plus Blitz. So I have
Yeah.
it modified. So I've got the 5 and the 10. The 30 EMA is turned off. I have the 75 on there, the 200 and the 300. I have the it's not showing color on the 75, 200, or 300 through the NQMA, but the Madrid ribbon is what gives it the color change. Because if you remember, the full Madrid ribbon had, the prices going up, you have all these MAs that are green, prices going down, all the MAs roll over and turn red.
Yeah. And the Madrid ribbons are great if you use the ribbons, but sometimes they can get they can make the chart a little bit hectic when you're using the like the standard ones where you see all the MAs, which they're pretty, but they can make it hard to see what's going on. So
yeah, so I'll just show what that looks like real quick. So we have this this experimental layout, I used to call it. And
there we go. Yeah, and there's the I think that like the yeah. See, the Madrid ribbons are beautiful. I mean, they're actually I really like them, but they're they can obscure the screen a little bit, especially I think if you're playing with really tight timelines, like 15-second candles and stuff.
yeah, they're basically meant to keep you in the trade longer because it's Bitcoin or crypto, and it just for me, it's kind of for people who are more beginner. They see that, hey, it just turned green. The price is going up, and you get in somewhere here, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
This was October 18th. October 15th last year was a key area where Bitcoin really started just taking off to the upside. And it basically never stopped. I mean, the price down here was like 27,000, and this thing never stopped until it got up to, like 73,000, 73.5, and that was in the middle of March of this year. So now we have kind of this rollover. So anyway, that's what it looks like with the full Madrid bands turned on. So if anybody wants these indicators, we can probably help you out.
Yeah, I think over at the if I look, I can always put them in the show notes. I just have a bunch that I just cut and paste every time as far as into the show notes now and into the description. But I think, also if you over at Bitcoin Daily View, just do a Control F for Madrid, and you'll see them. A lot of those indicators are all over there as well.
Man, this thing is just wild today. These swings are huge. So just a few minutes ago, we were down at 428, 20,428, and now we're pushing at that last high again. So it's just chopping up and down and really trying to push higher. In fact, I think it's about ready to break out now. So we have that last high at about 20,496. Now there is kind of a psychological price level at 20,500, but since the NASDAQ is kind of governed by other top-heavy assets, I don't think that it's too much of a deterrent to just break through it, because this thing can just break through these little psychological areas like butter. I mean, it's not a big thing.
And so it is great in the in the view where you have your watch list to the side, as you can see what, of course, NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Apple are doing, since they are, they definitely play a role in everything in the actual NASDAQ and its moves, Because I always wonder, I understand NVIDIA because they're cranking out GPUs, and that makes sense. And I know they have other products. And Apple, okay, people are in the Apple stores all around the world, and they're buying stuff. I mean, even with the economy fluctuating, I live like across the street from an Apple store, and that thing's always packed. Somebody's buying an
Yeah, there's
Apple
always like
Watch, or
50 people in there, right?
yeah, it's always packed, no matter what. But I always think about Microsoft, and I'm like, what do you even do? What do you offer? I'm like, I think if it wasn't licensed, like for every new computer, like I wonder what their market share would be. And then I know they have some services that they offer, but I guess that I don't know. That's my like conspiratorial
filled.
side. I'm just like, what do you even do, Microsoft? Why, why is your stock price like driving the NASDAQ?
Now we broke out. We broke a new high. Which is pretty crazy.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm just not going to get in there because it's a bit crazy.
Yeah, it's a hard day. I mean, oftentimes it is. Sometimes you have an easier day, but today's kind of a little bit hard because it has moved up. But as far as those nice, easy entries, it's a little difficult. It's a little bit volatile and sideways.
Well, since I was talking and you were looking at Bitcoin and stuff, I missed my 30-second entry, which would have been just a really, really nice trade. I can always look back and say, oh, I missed this one. I should have taken 300 ticks to the upside when the Trendilo was red on the 30-second, which was pretty brief, and the Stochastic was crossing bullish. When the two lines cross, it's bullish. The squeeze was looking good. Hey, time to get in. You could have had a cheap trade there. 12, 13 points to the downside, maybe 15 would be your stop loss. But instead, buying here, I feel like I'm buying the top of the 30-second range, and I'm just not gonna risk it for a few dollars.
Yeah,
the price is still going up. But
I know.
It's because the Trendilo is green, and but it is going to roll over here. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, it will.
We just passed 20,500 area. So that area is history now. So that's kind of cool. So that was a nice trade there. This would have basically been a $1,600 and some trade if one was to have caught that last 30-second bottom. So let's see if we can't catch the next one.
Yeah, now it's going sideways right
Yeah,
there
it's
at the.
Try to roll over here. Now, one thing that I watch when I'm looking at charts and indicators is if we get, if the indicators show that we just had a rollover and we're just finishing the rollover, meaning the indicators get low again, but the price hasn't really gone down very much, that's a very good sign that the buying pressure is really strong and that it's going to go up again. So.
Yeah, well, I hit that psychological level of 20,500. So this is going to be a real interesting moment. I don't know. I would give it a much greater chance of probably retracing from here than moving up. That's just a guess. But
well, it's going to retrace on the 30-second, yeah, but on the longer time frames, like let's say 10-minute, which I use that quite a bit, it's just off to the races. But the thing is, with the NASDAQ, you can't just FOMO in or YOLO in and hang on to it while it retraces. Because for one thing, you miss all your upside profits while you're sitting there in the red forever and sweating it out, which is definitely not fun because I've been there. It's.
And the green moving average, is that the, that's actually the 75, right?
Yeah, this
Or
one here is 75 moving average. Yep.
so looking at the 10-minute that we just worked, looking at the 10-minute, you can see it's really, really sticking to that 75 moving average. So, I think that kind of wondering, like, eventually it's going to be like, short material, I think. But definitely, I could see it coming back down to that 75, then making a move back up. If that's the mood that it's in when that happens.
It already is, and I think that right now is where you would short this.
Yeah.
For a nice short scalp. Just because the 30 seconds definitely rolling over. Sure, there's FOMO that's trying to push the price back up, and it might go to 520 or something, and then finally, relax a little. But yeah, this is a monster as far as you got to get the trade right. Yeah, it's just, see what I mean? They just keep buying it.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, sometimes it's like feeling that market open. Like, is this going to be a market open positive or market open negative kind of day? And this is definitely a market open positive day, at least for the moment,
Yeah, there was an announcement at 7:30 a.m. Central that created that big, huge wick. That kind of indicated it's going to be pretty rowdy today. Pretty active trading. So got a lot of volume, got good liquidity, or at least decent liquidity, and they're just pushing the price up.
Yeah. Microsoft and Apple and Amazon, Google and Meta, they're all up. And AMD they're all up. They're in the green. And but Nvidia is like 1.6 down right now. So NASDAQ overall since open, I think, is up 0.54%. So, I think if Nvidia turns around today, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be really, if Nvidia makes that bounce, that's when I think we'll definitely see a new all-time high.
Nvidia has been basically going up since let's see here. So Nvidia has been closed. They were totally closed on the 4th. NASDAQ was actually open on the 4th for trading until I think noon Central, and then it reopened at 5 p.m. Central. So yesterday. There wasn't not a lot of trading going on, but it was enough to push the price up overnight and create a new all-time high. So anyway, yeah, this thing is just popping to the upside.
Yeah. Good day for. Well, it's my magic 7 o'clock, so I gotta make a run for it.
All right.
But I guess we'll leave everybody with that. See, it's definitely was an up day so far since open, but a little bit of a hard to find. I would just say easy entries, but definitely now we're starting to roll over on the 30-second.
Yep.
It's kind of looking maybe like short territory, but if not, if that's not a person's style, just kick back and wait for this thing to probably make an easy confirmed uptrend for a while.
I would wait for it. I'll tell you why, because when the price is so bullish, zooming way into 30-second candles they can literally just do this kind of stuff all day. Down a little bit, up a little bit, make a higher high, and just I've seen the Trendilo just stay in the green or barely coming out of it and then coming back out into the green and just do it like for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Maybe that's kind of an exaggeration, but for a lot longer than what you would think. Just because there's so much bearish activity. Well, I'll stop talking now. I'll let you go, and I'm going to keep watching my charts and pull up a few scalps.
Yeah,
maybe even stay in a long trade.
There you go. Yeah, and I'll add some more links, and we'll probably do it again Monday or Tuesday, one of those 2 days. We can hop in and do it again.
Yeah, I think my daughter's going to trade with me or start learning on Friday. So hopefully she'll be there and you guys can meet her and say hi.
Oh, that'd be amazing. And yeah, and I do stick the webinar link is in Blockchain Education. I don't really share it anywhere else. We can give it to whoever we want, but I don't really make it totally public. But I do put it in Blockchain Education, and then whoever, within the crew, whoever wants to share it, that's fine, I guess. But at least for the moment, like, of course, the YouTube streams are public, but the webinar is public to view, but to join, I just have it to the blockchain crew, and then of course whoever we know that we want to include. If we ever want to make it public, I guess we could, but at the moment, just the inner circle.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention is if there's anybody out there who wants to learn how to trade the NASDAQ, all you have to do is join Blockchain Education, and I will teach you how to trade the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
We can figure out your trading style. You can scalp it, and extract a little bit of money out of it here and there, or you can capture, longer term trades. Longer term meaning like hours instead of minutes or seconds. But the longer term trades are where the money's at.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money in it. Using other people's money.
It's true.
Not your own.
And with Blockchain Education, if you're a member, there's of course, it's built around crypto trading, but the methodology works anywhere. Using a standard methodology where everybody's on the same page for the crypto trading. Like I say, that same methodology works here, anywhere else. But this right now that we're using is tailored to NASDAQ. But Jonathan Regan, he had one of the big guys at Blockchain Education, I guess you'd say. He does 2 webinars a week. And if you want to keep up on what the crypto market is doing, get some crypto news, some financial market news, and look at a lot of setups and how the market's going, you can watch them live or you can watch them after the fact. But there's, really those webinars, I think, especially if you're crypto trading, are an incredible insight. And you can just watch and sit back and you'll definitely learn to be a better trader for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. If anybody wants to know, the Zoom meetings Blockchain Education has are for USA people. They are at Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
If you're down under, Australia, New Zealand, those are on Wednesday and Friday at 11 a.m. Brisbane time.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to make a run for it. I will talk to you soon.
Okay, Craig.
All right. Till
Thanks
next
for having me.
time. Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.